What is going on, Headliner Nation? Out here, 2023 NFL Combine. Had a chance to hear some interviews from all the top quarterbacks in this year's draft. Who are my top 5 rookie quarterbacks? We're talking about it right now. All right, so here we are, 2023 NFL Combine. Just got done doing some interviews with all the top 5 quarterbacks. We had Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, Anthony Richardson, Max Duggan. What are our takeaways from the interviews? A lot of people put too much stock into the Combine performance, the on-field drills. These dudes are like running around in their underwear. I'd rather watch the tape if I'm breaking down what they can do on the field. But what do they do in the interviews? That's what I was most interested in, and that's really where I feel I can take the most away when we're trying to break down some of these prospects. So without any further ado, let's talk about our top 5 quarterbacks here in the 2023 NFL Draft. All right, so let's break all these quarterbacks down in the order that I actually interviewed them, and then we'll put the rankings end of the video. First guy up, Bryce Young. Let's go ahead and take a few looks at some of the clips from the interview there with Bryce Young.
Yeah, again, I've been this size, respectfully my whole life. I know who I am. I know what I can do, and for me, I think it's fair. Everyone can speculate and ask whatever questions are necessary, but I'm going to continue to control what I can control. Keep working my hardest to put myself in a good position, and I'm confident in myself. I know what I can do, and I'm just excited to get to that next level. I don't really feel like my drive isn't necessarily to prove anything. I think for me it's to try to explain all the things that I see to all the coaches, the GMs, all the decision makers, to express myself, talk about how I see the game, my experience in the past, and be able to learn as well, to try to soak as much in from the process, learn from the coaches, being able to talk to some players and play in the league now. So for me, it's a big learning experience, and I'm doing my best to try to explain how I've gotten here and try to find that great fit. I'm someone who pushes myself and prides myself in my preparation and processing and leading a team and an offense. For me, I make sure that I do whatever I feel like is best for the team. I try to make efficient decisions, and again, after every time, whether it's run or pass, try to make sure that I'm doing and playing the most efficiently for the benefit of the team. And misconception-wise, to be honest, I don't really know too much that's out about me. I'm grateful for everyone's opinions and for the media for all the coverage and everything. But honestly, I'm not really on social media that much. I'm not really watching too much about me. I respect everyone's opinions, but I focus on what I can control. So I take the advice and the direction of the people that I trust in my corner and people at the next level, and that's kind of what I try to focus on.
All right, my immediate takeaway from Bryce Young, the dude is quiet, and everybody wants to talk about his size. How short is he? How much does he weigh? Is he too small to be an NFL quarterback? He got asked those questions a lot. He handled them pretty well. And we've also talked to other Alabama teammates here that said he's a great teammate to have, that he is a good leader. But I didn't really feel that from the podium. He seemed a little shy, he seemed a little bit nervous, and to me kind of seems like somebody that may get swallowed up if he's thrown onto an NFL team that struggles. Do we see that leadership come out of Bryce Young? Just a question mark I had. Next guy up, though, was CJ Stroud.
So for me, as I try to describe my style as one, free-flowing, but still disciplined, still able to take the completion when it's there, but at the same time making plays. I like to be just confident really in myself, and another thing I like to do is kind of just extend plays but take the routine plays when they're routine. So I don't try to press the envelope, and I think that's very important being a quarterback sometimes, because you want to let your teammates know that you're not always trying to be Superman, but when you need to make that play and you can extend that play, you get a lot more respect from your teammates. So those are just things I like to do. I think I'm a playmaker. I think I'm very creative, and I think I'm smart when it comes to protections and things like that, because I solve a lot of issues before they're even there, and that's something I pride myself on. And one thing about me, I think I'm a ball placement specialist. That's one thing. I like to be very accurate. I don't want my receivers to have to do really anything to catch the ball, and I think I've shown that time and time on film. There's so many times you get knocked back down, but I feel like a true man's character is when you get knocked down, how do you get up? And he's got up every time, and he stepped up to the plate, and he hasn't blamed anybody, hasn't pointed no fingers, he hasn't anything. And as a human, that just shows you what type of man he is and what type of family he comes from. So just knowing kind of him as a person, I mean, that's really cool. Just because it's hard, man. You get hit so many times hard in the face. You have to make plays using your feet, and he ain't no damn running back. He's a quarterback. and he can sling that rock. So I'm going to stand up for my brother every time, and he's going to do great things in his career, and I'm excited to play with him. No, I mean, if you watch my film, I think I can show the balance. But at the end of the day, when dudes are open, you feed your guys the ball, or they look at you like you're crazy when you walk back to the sideline. So I think if you're open, you're going to get the ball messing with me, or if it's I throw guys open, and that's something that I think is rare because at the league, dudes aren't wide open, and I think I've done that in my career where guys aren't wide open, but I try to throw them that way. I try to throw them down. I try to throw them out. I try to throw it over his shoulder, things like that, because separation is not always going to be there. So that's something that I pride myself on, and sometimes I get so invested in the read because, I mean, you spend 8 hours on one play. I guarantee you're not going to just go 1, 2 run. You're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and really try to figure out who's open, and you want to feed your guys the rock, man. Everybody at Ohio State that I played with from year 1 to year 2 is extremely hard workers, and I want to feed them. You know what I'm saying? I want them to eat just like I am. So that's something that I pride myself on. But when it's time to dip my shoulder and go get that first down or something like that, I'm going to do that too.
And I'll tell you one thing about the C.J. Stroud interview. The dude commanded the interview. He really handled it very like a professional here at the Combine. I love the answers. I love the confidence that he has. He really took command of the interview, kind of similar to what I think he could do in the huddle in the NFL game. C.J. Stroud, he was a great prospect to hear from. Next up, we had Anthony Richardson.
We said, what do I think I would bring to a team?
Right now, you know, you have the project label. What do you think would bring a team right now?
I don't even know what that means, project label. But, I'm willing to bring anything, everything that they need from me. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to be dedicated to my craft. I'm just, be a leader in that organization. So just grow and continue to grow. I'm able to do everything on the field, run over people, jump over people, run past people, throw the ball pretty well. So just tying it all together, I feel like that just helps me become a better quarterback. My guy right there said I'm a project, so I guess teams already know that I have room to grow. So they see sparks in me. I see that myself as well. So I don't have to, talk about experience with them because they watch the tape and they know I've been playing football for a while. It's just a matter of what level I've been playing on. So I think I'm ready. I know I'm ready, and they'll get that from me. And just growing up, I've had a lot of people tell me, I'm throwing it too hard. So when I try to lighten up, it's not as accurate as I want it to be. So I don't care if somebody's complaining about if I'm throwing it hard, they better catch it. I see myself, I want to be a legend. I want to be like Patrick Mahomes. I want to be like Tom Brady. I want to be one of the greats. I will be one of the greats, because I'm willing to work that hard and get to that point. So to answer the question, I feel like I'm going to be one of the greats in the next few years.
Now, Anthony Richardson, he was a fun interview, right? There's some great sound bites. He doesn't know what a project quarterback is. He admits that he throws the ball hard, but you got to catch it. I mean, he was a great interview as well. He is aware of the fact that he needs a little bit of time, right? He's not somebody who may be ready day one, but if given the opportunity, I don't think he shies away from it whatsoever. Which will then take us over to Will Levis.
I think that our terminology crosses over with a lot of different teams in the league. So when they're asking about the plays that we run and we're watching tape and I'm running through kind of what our footwork or what our just language that we used was, it's kind of cool when they can realize kind of right away that it's the same or very similar to what they do. This offseason compared to off seasons in the past, I've really been trying to kind of perfect the movement leading up to the throw. I think that when I make some inaccurate passes, it's due to kind of how I'm initiating the movement leading into it. A lot of the times I can get away with it because of how talented of an arm I have. But Joe, I think, does better than anyone else in terms of movement in the pocket. Not the fastest guy, but he's just able to move so efficiently to put himself in a stable base to make efficient throws. And been watching a lot of film on him this past offseason. Physically, I just say my arm talent. I think I got one of the stronger arms that's come out of any draft class in recent memory. And then just who I am as a person, kind of my morals, what I stand for, my values. And I think that's been the most kind of beneficial thing for me to be able to share with these coaches throughout these formal and informal interviews, to just get them to know me as a person, get them to kind of understand how seriously I take every aspect of my life, and just letting them know how much I love ball and how I'm able to use those values and those morals to make me the best person in the locker room and on the field as possible.
Now, Levis doesn't struggle when it comes to having confidence. He expects to be the #1 quarterback in this class. He believes it. That's what he wants to do with it. He wants to be like the greats in the NFL right now. Is he ready? There's a lot of untapped potential there. He did have the confidence that you would like to see from a starting quarterback. He has all the tools and some of of the intangibles, but maybe a little bit raw compared to some of these other guys. But overall, I liked what I heard from Will Levis. Which will then take us to the last quarterback of the day. It was Max Duggan out of TCU, a guy that you see leave ball games just beaten and battered. And actually his interview was delayed because he was stuck in medicals. And a lot of people were a little bit concerned. We got the question answered later on that it had nothing to do with him. There was a line at the MRI, so it just took him a little bit longer to get over here to the interview.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to competitiveness, and I think you understand your body and body type, especially in college, it's going to be a little different. You can't really live in that world in the NFL. There's guys that are bigger, stronger, run a little bit faster, and if you kind of live in that world, you're probably going to be off the field most of the time. But yeah, I think it just comes down to competitiveness, just kind of my mindset when I'm out there doing everything I can to help us win. Getting to talk ball, getting to get on the board, talk protections, talk scheme, just kind of getting to learn me as a player a little bit more that you can't really see, on tape. And then on the field, just go out and show you're a consistent passer. You got velocity, your footwork's all cleaned up, and, you want to compete against the best. Jalen Hurts is probably someone I probably play most like. Just looking at what he does, just intangible assets of being a leader, being tough, gritty, fighting through adversity and leading a group of men. But also just physical traits. I think, he's an underrated passer. He's a pass-first guy that is athletic enough to go make plays, whether it's, just QB design runs, scramble drills, things like that, third and short. So, Jalen Hurts is probably someone I'm probably most similar to. Biggest strengths, probably my just competitiveness. I think, at this level, everybody can run, everybody can throw, everyone's a good athlete, but I think just competitive nature in the game, wanting to be under the lights, wanting to have the ball in your hands, wanting a group of men to lean on you, I think will, really help me going into this next, stage of my life.
Now, I think we can all look at Max Duggan and kind of realize that he's probably not a day one starter in the NFL, more than likely going to go to a team, be a backup quarterback, a solid backup, a gutty backup. I mean, the kid has potential, but he's not really one of those guys that we can look at and say, hey, he should be drafted early on in the first round and go lead an NFL franchise right now. I didn't really get that sense from him at the podium, and I think it kind of goes along with what a lot of people think. But here's what everybody wants to know. It's the rankings, right? How do I rank these 5 guys? And it's difficult, right? All of them have a different type of skill set. They bring something different to the table. And if I had to put them in order, this is the way that I currently have them right now. Number 1 overall, it's CJ Stroud for me. I love what I've seen on tape. I love what I saw in the interview. Number 2, I'm going with Bryce Young out of Alabama. Now, obviously he has his question marks, and size is going to be something that he has to answer for, but I thought he answered it really well in the interview where he said, listen, I've been playing at this size in the SEC, and I've still found success. So I know that that's not going to be a huge issue for me. So that's something to pay attention to. I got Bryce Young at number 2. For me, number 3, I'm going with Anthony Richardson. Now, he's raw. He's going to need some time. I would not want to start him week 1 of the NFL season, but we don't know what that ceiling is, and that kid could be definitely special. I love what I've seen from him here as of late. Number 4, this is where I have Will Levis. Do I dislike Will Levis? No, but I'm getting a lot of Zach Wilson vibes from Will Levis, and I don't know if I want to venture down that path again, which means coming in last year, Max Duggan shouldn't be a surprise, probably where a lot of people would put him here on this list, taking nothing away from the kid. He is a great kid, and you can tell that he really has a passion for the game of football, but when it comes to these rankings, he's coming in 5th for me. But now is the time for me to know your rankings. How do you rank these 5 guys? It's going to be interesting to find out where they fall in the 2023 NFL Draft. Leave those comments down below. I'll try to answer as many as I can. We're here at the Combine throughout the weekend, getting as much information as we possibly can so we can dominate some fantasy football in 2023. Do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll talk to you later.